Let's hone in now on the topic of diplomacy and how the Hamas attack is altering what that looks like in the Middle East. For that, we bring in Joel Rubin. He was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for the Obama administration. Joel, it's good to have you once again on the show. Before we get into that conversation, though, I understand you have family in Tel Aviv. Your cousin's apartment is just feet from where one of those missiles struck. Have you been in contact with your cousin for an update this morning?
Yeah, thank you, Markie, for bringing that up. I do have a lot of family in Israel, many American Jews who immigrated to Israel. We call it making Aliyah, and many who were born in there, multi-generational Israelis who are cousins as well, Holocaust surviving family that we are connected to. I did speak with my cousins. They are shaken. They are safe physically. They are hopeful that there will be a better tomorrow, because that's all that Israelis can do is hope for a better tomorrow. But they are deeply, deeply angry as well, and deeply, deeply hurt by what is happening right now. And I think just to add to one more moment here is that the American Jewish community is in pain right now. And we are watching this with hearts broken at the devastation. And now to hear the addition of Americans captured and killed, taken into Gaza, it only deepens that pain. And so, yes, we're in constant touch and still in the mourning moment after this attack.
Yeah, you're a very resilient people, and our thoughts and our deepest condolences to your cousin.
Thanks.
And also to you right now in this time of tumult and great loss and tragedy. Joel, to the broader conversation here, in the case of Hamas, you say that countries have to decide for themselves if they want to step in or if they want to provoke. What do you mean by that exactly? And how will it be determined who does and doesn't support terrorism in the region?
You know, Markie, there are moments that are very clarifying. There are moments where leaders are tested as they should be. And this is what they have prepared for their whole lives. And countries right now look at this moment, this tragedy, this attack by Hamas, and they have to decide, are they on the side of those who are fighting for peace and against this kind of wanton violence and criminality? Or are they going to support it? And so right now, from a diplomatic perspective, that means that the United States, and we see constant churn from the Secretary of State and others, are reaching out to allies in the Arab world and around the world to seek their support for resolving this, for getting to a peaceful outcome, to supporting Israel, who was attacked in an unprovoked manner. And for those who support, they're going to be on the side of the peacemakers. And for those who don't, they're going to be remembered as the supporters of the terrorism. And that's just how it is. And I think we're seeing in these days ahead who is going to step up and try to make sure that we are ending up in a better place, and that this terrorist organization, I must add, has been ruining the lives of Palestinians for decades now inside Gaza, undermining opportunities for peace, attacking Israeli civilians wantonly for decades. This is not a friend of the Palestinians or of peace. And this is a clarifying moment where we can see who is with and who is against Hamas.
Yeah, the eyes of the world are certainly on the response here, and what that response looks like from many different world nations. Let's rewind to the moment that this war broke out, Saturday morning. You know, there was obviously a massive failure in detecting this incursion by both Israel and also the United States, who just said last week the Middle East has never been quieter. There's going to be plenty of time to criticize, but looking ahead, though, in what ways did the attacks maybe create an opportunity for Israel and the U.S. to reflect on intelligence capabilities and hopefully even fortify them?
Yeah, no, without a doubt, there will be much time later, but there is already time right now, because to prevent ongoing attacks, it's important to understand capabilities at the moment. And it appears that Israel, regrettably, moved forces out from southern Israel towards the West Bank, towards other parts, sort of relied on technology and the fence alone, not on people, not on watching, didn't have the insight. And also with political turmoil in Israel, and without a doubt, one cannot discount that at the leadership level, where we have seen the prime minister as well and his cabinet trying to marginalize many senior national security leaders of the Israeli Defense Forces. All that chaos, all that movement. For enemies of Israel, that is a perfect moment to strike. And they saw that chaos, they saw the tumult, they saw the change decision making, and they struck in a manner where my cousins, to close this loop, were telling me that Hamas forces were able to drive 30 kilometers up out of Gaza unimpeded into homes and towns and communities and kibbutzim, which is just a remarkable failure, deeply distressing. And for Israelis who are so consumed with safety and security, it's just also shaken them in many ways to the core of their security. And so what we'll see going forward from the Israeli military is an attempt not just to deter Hamas, but also to regain the confidence of the Israeli people that they are safe. And this is why it's going to be a very intense period in the days ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.